For New Mexico, we have student athletes Tony Snell, Cameron Barstow, Coach Steve Alford. Coach, if we could start with you, some remarks on tonight's game.
Well, we always break it into seasons, and when you get to season 3, you've got to win to advance. Season 3 can be quick, or it can be a 3-game deal or a 2-game deal. So to get to the semis, we feel very fortunate and very pleased. I thought our guys were terrific tonight. We really guarded the way we've been guarding all year. I think we made things hard on them. It became a very physical game, which our guys have proven they don't mind physicality as part of a game. And I just thought we had a lot of good play. I thought Kendall's performance on Gilmore in the second half was huge for us. Here's the player of the year that only gets 1 field goal, but what he did defensively might have been the key to the game. And then Tony and Cam had to play an awful lot of minutes because of foul trouble with Alex, and I thought he was terrific. It was a career high in minutes for him. He just did a lot of good things for us, especially defensively, because I always felt that the key to beating Wyoming is Nance and Washington. I had 17 field goals last night. They combined those two and Cook, and tonight they combined for 7. And I thought that was going to be a big key, and these guys had a lot to do with it. And Tony continues to do the job defensively, shut out Gerbeau, which hadn't been done a lot this year. And I think you're seeing our team go to the next level just because of the development of Tony defensively.
Thank you, Coach. Now open up for questions for the student athletes.
Tony, you guys have played 3 back and forth tough games with Wyoming. I guess kind of they've had some ups and downs this season. I guess kind of what's your impression of them as a team, and kind of you've seen them as much as anybody. Kind of what's your take on kind of their build as a team when you have to go against them?
Well, we know that they really cut hard, so we got to try to keep up with them and try to use our length to make them drive it, because they're not really good they're pretty good of shooting the ball, but we rather let them drive it, and we have help defense on them.
Cam, Leonard Washington, I know he was hurt some, but for 3 games, you guys really took Leonard Washington out of the game in the post. He averaged 5 points in 3 games against you guys this year. I'm curious what the game plan is going in, knowing Leonard Washington, when healthy, is probably their best weapon.
Yeah, I mean, the scouting report is he wants to go left, plus use shot fakes. So we really focused on that aspect and tried to make him catch it off the block. But I think in game 1 and this game, we did a great job of getting him in foul trouble early, and I think that really affected him in both of those games.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Michael.
Lawrence Acalik from KU18 Albuquerque. Everybody's talking about that this felt like Pitt West. How much did the fans play a part in how well you guys dominated this game?
The fans are definitely a big time part of how we play, because they bring us energy when we hear them, scream and cheering for us. They'll give us energy to play better and pick each other up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you run out and you hear the cheers, it really does lift you up. And I mean, you look out and it's a sea of red out there, and that really influenced the game. I feel like it really felt like a bit of a home court advantage, which always helps. Every time we made a big basket, they were on their feet. So I think it really helped in this game.
Okay. Guys, the people can talk about defense, but you did go 11 minutes without a field goal. Do you now actually realize that it's going to be defense that wins in tournament games? And is that where your emphasis is now?
We emphasized that since day one. We can't never win games without having defensive stops. The offense is always going to be there, but if you can't never defend a team, then you won't win games.
Tony, Coach praised your defense and how your defense has come from the beginning of the season up until now. But your offense here in this first game was pretty outstanding. Can you talk about what your mindset from the offensive end was heading into this game?
Well, I figure I try to be aggressive, from the start. Try to be a threat out there. Because if they held me, and I could just drive and kick to find other players, and they would be able to score. So I just try my best to do good both sides of the ends.
Cam, talk about the first 11 minutes in the second half. You guys were really struggling offensively, but you didn't press much, and you were still able to defend. Talk about the character of this team and how you're able to rebound from not playing well offensively.
I think we just have faith in each other. You know, guys are going to step up, which they have the whole year. So even when we're not playing well at a particular point, we just keep pushing, try to get the free throw line, try to get the easy scores. And I think we did a good job of being patient offensively tonight and down the stretch especially. And obviously holding them to 46 points. It was all on the defensive end, even when we weren't scoring.
Either one of the student athletes. The fact that UNLV opened up today with a dominating win, you guys coming in tonight, was it important in any way, shape, or form to make the same kind of statement? Was it in your mind mentally to come out and make a statement in terms of a dominating win? Did any of that transpire in you guys' pregame chat?
Our statement every game is just try to, anything we can do to get a win. You know, wins always count. I don't care if it's 1 point or 2 points. As long as we get wins, that's all that matters for us.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll dismiss the student athletes at this time.
Thank you.
Now we'll take questions for Coach Alford.
Coach, a couple questions. First off, I do want to ask about the crowd. Obviously they've done this before, but Larry said he felt like it was the pit, and he was rather disappointed by it. Can you talk about the crowd first?
Well, we know what kind of crowd we have. We know what kind of fans we have. I've said it so many times. It's a blessing and honor to be the head coach in New Mexico, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But at the top of that list has always been our fan base. Our fan base is incredible. They're loud. Our guys come out. They're into the game. Even being in a neutral setting here, they still do the things that they do in the pit. We're up 5. You got the ball. They know to get up because that's a big defensive stop. We get up 8 and we have the ball. They get up because they know the difference in being up double figures, what that means. They're just a very knowledgeable fan base, and we appreciate what they do more than you could possibly imagine. They're a big part of our program.
Another question there, because this is a conference tournament and it's March and there's eyes around the country that haven't seen you guys watching games like this. This isn't the first time you guys have had a rather ugly game where another team tried to slow things down.
Well, yeah, and I guess it's in the eyes of the beholder of what's pretty and ugly. In March, when you win by 13 points, to me, it's pretty. We may not have shot the ball well. We've had a lot of games this year we haven't shot the ball well. The key and identity to this basketball team, I think things change year to year, but our identity has always been the defensive end. Now, we went on this last road trip, and we shot the ball pretty well. But our identity really has been what you saw today. We hold a team to 8 field goals both halves. They scored 22 in one half. They scored 24 in the other. They shoot less than 35%. They get out rebounded. We took care of the basketball, only turned the ball over 9 times. And we make more free throws than our opponent attempted. That has been who we have been all year long. And I told the guys afterwards, you are just who you are. And that's been good enough throughout the non-league. It's been good enough through our league. And I've told them going into this conference tournament, that's who you got to be. Don't be somebody, don't try now that you're in postseason and the hoopla of March, don't all of a sudden try to change your identity. And then when we have games where we shoot the ball well, then we go to another level. But this has really been who we've been through most of the 32-game schedule we played.
And then just one quick follow-up to that. People are talking about the 11-minute stretch. If you go back to the first half, it was actually over 12 minutes that you guys went without a field goal. That's got to be a stretch that has to be concerning at some point.
We're the #1 league in the country. We're now 14-3 in it. It's not easy winning 3 games against somebody, and we've won 2 of those games by double digits. And we've held them the last 2 times. Wyoming hadn't got to 50. You're not going to lose very many games when you hold people to 46 points and 32% shooting. When you do that, you're going to give yourself a chance to win. And what doesn't show up on the stat sheet is toughness. I've got a very tough group. They are a winning group. Look at Kendall Williams. Kendall Williams, Player of the Year in this league, deservedly so. And he has 1 field goal. He didn't play, and I thought he had a very good game. We made the switch right before halftime. Gilmore had 11 quick points. He gets 1 field goal the rest of the way out, shoots 4 for 17. I think he's a very good player. that switch was Kendall, and Kendall did a great job on him. You look at Nance and Washington and Cook combined for 17 field goals. Last night they scored in the 80s. Tonight they scored in the 40s, and those three combined for 7 field goals. There's a reason why this team's 27-5. They don't just execute at the offensive end. They probably do a better job of executing the game plan and what's set up at the defensive end, and there's a lot to be said about that.
Coach Ben Frederickson with the Casper Star Tribune. Coach Scheidt said that the way Wyoming played tonight was kind of synonymous with their season. I guess, you know, you've played them 3 times now, and you guys have gone back and forth. You always obviously end up getting better at the situation. They've kind of had some ups and downs this year. I just kind of want to get your take on them as a team, and I know they're at times playing shorthanded, but kind of as an opponent, how would you describe kind of playing them?
Well, Larry does a great job. He's like all the other coaches in our league. That's what makes this league so special. We got great coaches, we got great players, and Larry and his staff do a great job. They had a quick turnaround. It's not easy. You know, that's why we play the league. That's why, you know, I was proud of our guys to be the #1 seed. It's not easy playing the 8-9 game and then turning around and playing what I think is a really good basketball team. I think we're really good. I think our starting 5, I'd put our starting 5 up against anybody. I think we've proven that in who we've played, so that's not easy. And for them to come in and battle, and we had them down double figures in the first half. They came back, built it back up in the second half. But the thing about Larry's players, they play extremely hard. They have great pace, both the offensive end, and they really guard you. You know, that's why I'm not real worried about shooting. We shot 40%. We've done that a lot this year. That doesn't concern me a whole lot because I know we had a very good defensive team that we were playing against. And I've always thought Wyoming does a very good job at the defensive end.
Coach Bruce Marshall at Sports Byline, congratulations. So you've done a lot in your career, Big Ten in the Valley as a coach, but this league, this year, the diversity of the teams, have you seen in your career a league where you're playing so many different styles of teams too, and how that's going to help you as you go to the big dance next week?
Well, I hope it does. The last 3 games have been just what you're talking about. We play Nevada, there's one style, then you go to Air Force, it's a totally different style, and now you play Wyoming, even in a more different style. So we see that in our league a lot. You know, most of our league's man-to-man, so we have not seen a lot of zone. That's something that maybe you get to the national tournament and you get matched up with somebody that's a zone team. Might be the only thing that we haven't seen a lot of. But we've played well against zones because, like, Air Force is a matchup zone team. We've scored big both of the games we've played against them. So we do think we're well prepared. I thought this was a big game for us because we will go into the national tournament now, regardless of what our record is, regardless of what happens here in the weekend, going into the NCAA tournament, not losing back-to-back games. And that's a big deal when you can get that momentum. We lost at Air Force in a tough game, really last-second shots, and to rebound like this and win by double figures and get back on that winning ways, our 27th win. There's just a lot of good things about this team, and they're a really tight group. I think they're well prepared. We're healthy right now. Hugh got banged up a little bit with his neck on a screen, so we got to get him some treatment here, but we're pretty healthy, so hopefully we can get through this weekend.
Hey, Coach, Lauren again from KOHC. Hi. So, you know, everybody that we're talking to outside, they're excited, of course, about this tournament, but they keep just saying Sweet 16. They skip the rest of March Madness and go straight to Sweet 16. I know you're probably a one-step first kind of guy, but you got to be thinking about the tournament right now. How do you think this game bodes for you guys looking forward, and what do you think?
Well, I think obviously we knew we were in, but staying away from that first-round loss or the quarterfinal loss, I think that just solidifies what you're going to do with your seeding. We do get to the semifinals now. We're in the #1 league in the country by RPI standards. So now, if you would happen to slip on the weekend, it's not as big hurting your seed as I think maybe it would be in a quarterfinal loss. So that's just another hurdle you do. We understand the Sweet 16 feel. I've been in Albuquerque now 6 years. I know how bad fans want to get to the Sweet 16. Our program wants to do that. In fact, we haven't talked about the Sweet 16. We've talked about getting as far as we possibly can. We feel like it's a tournament that we can do some damage in, but you have to be fortunate. I've been in this business a long time as a coach. I was in it as a player. We won on the last, my senior year when we won the national championship, we won on the last day of the year and Purdue lost, which gave us the #1 seed in the tournament, which kept us in Indy and in Cincinnati. That's a lot different than being in Indiana and getting shipped out west. So you got to get fortunate. You got to get lucky. And then when you get those breaks, you got to take advantage of them. And I will say this is a team that, because of the 2 championships they won a year ago, and now winning this league the way they won it, it's a confident group. They believe they can do some things. Doesn't mean we're going to get to that level. Well, I hope we do. But it's not going to take away from our year if we don't. I don't want it to be that kind of deal. But we understand the fans. We want to do it probably more for them than we do anything else because we have such a great fan base.
Hey, Coach, one last question. Just rewinding a little bit to earlier in the year, you knew this was going to be a good team in the league, was going to be tough. You had a very tough non-conference schedule. You look at St. Louis, Cincinnati,
Right.
The Aggies. You didn't shy away from a tough schedule there. How much did that help you coming into the Mountain West having played that tough non-league schedule?
Well, we got fortunate. Scheduling's hard, and we did get fortunate. And teams that we've played have played well and had good years. You know, South Dakota State's in, Valpo's in the tournament. UConn would have been in the tournament if eligible. We played them. So Cincinnati, they're trying to work their way in through the Big East tournament. So we did. We played a very, very demanding schedule, and it worked out well for us that we stayed healthy and we were able to schedule up and win. And I think our league did that. I think that's why we're the #1 league RPI-wise in the country. It wasn't just us. Other teams in our league scheduled up and then they won. And when you do that, you reap the benefits of it. And that's why our league has been very good top to bottom. You know, so I hope that prepares us. We literally thought it was a year away. I'll be honest with you, when you lose Drew Gordon and A.J. Hardeman and Philip McDonald, we didn't see this coming at this level. We returned our entire starting 5. So the future is exciting and bright, and yet we got to live in the moment knowing that this is a pretty special team, and we want to play as long as we can.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.